The sea serpent roll. I seem to remember the transition not being good on that. Ah, it feels so good to be back here, and especially to be done with that horrendous traffic. I thought LA traffic was bad. It is nothing compared to up here, the San Jose, Oakland, San Francisco area. Just the most awful traffic anywhere in the country, and I've driven all over the country. Chicago, Austin, Houston, Dallas. Nowhere in the country the traffic is as bad as here. I'm so glad I got this credit, because that means I don't have to ever ride it again. This, on the other hand, with Flash broken, Medusa is my third favorite in the park. Still, I think it's a middle of the pack floorless. Well, what I said about Medusa being a middle of the pack floorless, I take it back. That is among the best. I would say probably just outside of the very best. Like I have Bizarro, well, Medusa on the East Coast as the best. It was riding so smooth, and even the transition in the sea serpent roll, which I remember being a little janky the last time I was here. It was a smooth transition this time on all 5 rides. I did 5 rides in about 45 minutes. So this has at most a 5 to 10 minute wait, while Patriot at CGA, their sad excuse for a floorless coaster, has about an hour, hour and a half wait. And this is now a walk-on. And riding in the back row did get a little airtime on this drop. Nothing substantial, but it was there. And got some good hang time on the loop. And it was actually very forceful going into that loop too. The only real strike against this ride is that it is a parking lot coaster. And riding in the back, you get a little whip off the mid-course, so you want to lean your head forward for that. But it was smooth for the most part. Maybe a little hints of a rattle on one of the trains. I went ahead and rode Kong because it didn't have much of a line. I got the front row, and that wasn't too bad. That was much better than I remember. The ride I got in 2019, I remember it being pretty shaky. This was a little shaky, but it was fine. I just kept my head kind of to the right of the restraint, and with that, it's no problem at all. I'm glad I rode it again. Vekoma SLCs aren't bad rides. They're just not as good as the B&M inverts. For the most part, some are. Like Great Nor'easter, Twisted Typhoon, Gauntlet. But I probably shouldn't have done that. I now only have an hour and 10 minutes left. So the only coaster I haven't ridden at the park now is Batman the Ride. Yeah, a bit longer line than yesterday. Okay, Joker is absolutely a front row ride. Airtime was way stronger in front than in back. Now the drop is going to be better in the back. Everything else is better in front. I was thinking after my back row ride that maybe this wasn't as good as Twisted Cyclone, but after that front row ride, no, I do like this more than Twisted Cyclone. Oh, that was awesome. I got on what I thought was going to be the next to last ride of the night, but then there were 2 people left that needed a ride. So we got to stay on. In fact, the entire train got to stay on. The people in the front row just needed to find a couple empty seats, which they did. So I got 2 in a row at the end. That is 4 rides in the last hour or so. 6 in total for the trip. Got 4 on Superman, 5 on Medusa, between the 2 days combined. Of course, I was only here for an hour and a half yesterday and 3 hours today. So once again, just like in the southern part of California, the Six Flags Park is way better than the Cedar Fair Park. I would take Magic Mountain over Knott's Berry Farm any day of the week, and I would absolutely take Discovery Kingdom over California's Great America by a long shot. Huh, they still have a Shoot the Chutes here. I think I know where Railblazer could go, but that's it from Six Flags Discovery Kingdom. I'm glad I made the stop here. I thought about going to Sacramento to get those 2 credits there, but this was the better choice. Dealing with the traffic up to there and then maybe having the rides closed, this was the right choice to come here instead. The only thing is that by staying all the way to closing and actually past closing, getting that last ride at like about 6:20, is that now I have about a 9-hour drive to get to my next park, Enchanted Forest up in Oregon, and I got 16 hours to get there. 9-hour drive, 16 hours, and I gotta sleep sometime. I'm gonna be tired tomorrow. So that was 11 rides there. In those 3 hours, no way I would have gotten that even all day at California's Great America. If you ever decide to take a coaster trip to the Northern California parks, be prepared for this. This is just the norm. This is all the time, and it's everywhere. You could be driving at 10 p.m. and you will run into some of this, even when you are far outside of those cities.